Hi, I'm Nasreen Amri, the founder of Carrorism.
And I'm Fonde Bridges, the Carrorist spokesperson.
Well, welcome. Welcome to Carrorist Conversations. This is episode number 5. And we will be discussing one of the Carrorist principles, conscious acts of kindness.
Right, which you always talk about it real quick, right? Mm-hmm. You always discuss that it's not random.
Right. I mean, I wanted to step it up a little bit. I mean, I know that most of you know the concept like random acts of kindness, especially like if you Google kindness, you'll see a lot of articles that pop up about random acts of kindness.
Right.
And, I thought about it and I'm like, okay, if someone opens the door for you, they were consciously opening the door for you.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
And so the step up from random is conscious.
Yeah.
And the goal, especially with positive psychology, is to be conscious and mindful of your actions. So take responsibility. And so I love consciously going out into the world and doing more kindness to other people, but also with yourself. So
yeah.
So with that being said, currently right now, like one of the biggest hashtags is Corona kindness, because obviously we're in this pandemic, and it's beautiful because there are so many like little news stories that are popping up where people are doing beautiful acts of kindness, and I love that. Sometimes it takes something that's a little bit dark and challenging to highlight the good in the world.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to give a big thank you out to all of the individuals, but also the organizations that have been making and donating masks.
Okay.
So that's been a big act of kindness that's been going down. But and on a personal level, my stepmother Zara just finished sewing 50 masks.
All right. Well,
so
look at that.
There you go.
All right.
And then there are all these other little cute stories. It was hard to just choose one story because humanity is like really amping up its kindness game.
Yeah, let's do the healthy word, and then we'll get into the stories.
Oh yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Totally forgot.
No, did you?
I did, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw you were headed off somewhere. No worries.
On an adventure.
Well, I think, researching for this topic of kindness, it becomes apparent that there's a lot of kindness going on in the world.
Absolutely.
It just doesn't always get celebrated and shared.
You're going to pick? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I felt it. So I'm wearing a pink shirt.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Let's have a little faith. That's our healthy word of the day.
Is that
faith.
the healthy word of the day?
Yeah.
Faith?
Mm-hmm.
Let me look at that. I'm going to pull up the definition, as I enjoy doing so much. Let's see.
I have absolute faith in the conscious acts of kindness of humanity during this pandemic.
All right, so faith is a noun.
Yep.
Again, I love talking about nouns. It's something you can possess. It's a thing. It's an idea. You can own this idea. You can have faith. So, complete trust. Complete trust or confidence in someone or something. Strong belief in God or in the doctrines of a religion based on spiritual apprehension rather than proof. Valid. I'll tell you a cool thing about faith. My dad was a minister, so I was fortunate enough to talk about this subject all the time. Yeah, all the time. And my dad used to say, faith is sitting down in a chair. And I was like, what? But he said, you don't know the chair is not going to give out.
That's true.
You don't.
I like that.
But you sit in the chair every single time like it's going to be there for you.
Right.
Now, yeah. I mean, as his son, we could debate these things. But, yes, I like that faith is such that you believe the chair is going to hold you up. So you're all in.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, I pretty much covered my story before we did the healthy word, but I do want to say that there were some really cute, just little highlights that when I was looking for the.
So wait, your conscious acts of kindness are the mask?
That was one. That was one of
I
the
was
many.
just curious.
Yeah, they were just like so many that it was really hard to pick one.
It was.
Yeah, I was actually overwhelmed by all the really creative, conscious acts of kindness that have been going down. So, like, I mean, there was like this, not only one guy, but I've heard of like a few people that are getting like all masked up, but not in like the surgical masks, but in like superhero gear. And they're like running around in neighborhoods and kind of inspiring kids. And
are you saying like Halloween style?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Like little, like, superheroes dressed up and, inspiring kids to be heroic during these times. So I thought that was really cute.
It's a good conscious act of kindness.
Yeah.
A little inspiration.
I think so.
Okay.
Uh-huh. And then, people are just gifting food right now.
True.
And buying gift cards to like their local or favorite restaurants. And I thought that was really sweet. And, there's like volunteers that are assisting the elderly with grocery shopping. And another one, there's like owners of hotels that are offering rooms for like people who need to self-quarantine.
Okay.
I thought that was really clever.
That is genius. And kind.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Yeah. So, like I said, there are so many inspirational acts of kindness, conscious acts of kindness that are happening right now that it's really gives me a great pleasure to read. So
you win news stories.
Yeah.
I love it.
All of them. So I have absolute faith in all of you that your conscious acts of kindness will truly help all of us through this time. So thank you. Thank you all.
So I got somebody.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
I didn't base it on a quote.
Okay.
I similar to you, I started looking at news stories, but I landed in a moment of time, a little bit of history. So the person I chose was born in Sweden, 1912. All right. Interesting kind of energy around his birth. His father, at the young age of 24, dies of cancer 3 months before he's born. And his mother's father, so his grandfather, dies 3 months after he's born. So he's left with two widows to raise him day in and day out. Irony, his grandfather on his dad's side is a banker. So he was born into a substantial amount of money. As a matter of fact, the family's bank is currently worth $2.6 trillion trillion right now.
Just want to make
sure. So they're doing okay as a family. Okay. He matures. He goes through high school. He joins the military, as everyone is to do in Sweden at the time. And his grandfather sends him to Paris. From Paris, he ends up at the University of Michigan, and he decides the only way to become a diplomat in the United States of America and to learn how to be a businessman is to become a hobo.
Fascinating.
So he's jumping trains across America to learn how to negotiate and communicate and get to know everyday people. Mm-hmm. Very interesting element, right? Returns to Sweden, an architect. So he gets to Sweden, he's an architect. Mm-hmm. They tell him, though, they're like, oh, I'm sorry, your American degree has no value here. We're not going to let you build anything. So then he turns to his family. They take him to South Africa. He works there. He ends up at the age of, I think it's 31, working in Budapest, learns how to speak Hungarian, and is running an import and export business. He is the co-owner, and at that point, he is recruited by, I guess you'd say, the United States via Sweden, to help out with a serious circumstances going on in Hungary where the Jews are being put into the ghettos, and then sent to concentration camps to be killed. He intervenes, and he ends up saving the lives of 100,000 Jews.
Wow. Okay.
And when people talk about him, one of the stories they tell, where I have an example of his kindness, is one of his strategies is he came up with giving all of the Jews diplomacy cards to say that they are citizens of Sweden, and they cannot be deported. So the Jews are literally on the trains when he pulls up at one point. He grabs as many of these cars as possible, jumps on the top of the train, starts handing out cards to everybody inside the train car, and the German soldier starts shooting at him, and he keeps handing out the cards. He does not care. Jumps down, tells everyone with a card, all the Swedish citizens, we have to go. We're leaving. And immediately saves the lives of at least 100 people in that moment to show his commitment to kindness.
Right. That's a heroic.
And it's a very conscious act on his part, right? That he consciously saved the lives of these people and found ways to honor their humanity. He ends up getting awarded all throughout time. Oh, one little caveat. He gets caught, finally.
Okay.
And by the age of 36, he is in a prison and he is executed. And so it's an interesting element for me because the quote that finally showed up about this young man was, he was known to say, one person can make a difference. And it just is like, you don't know your life's path, you don't know what's going to happen, but if you wake up every day and you consciously do kindness, you don't know the
ripple effect.
The ripple effect, the impact, but one person can make a difference. His name is Raoul Wallenberg.
Okay, never heard of him.
All right, never heard of him. Raoul Wallenberg, a part of the Wallenberg family of Sweden, and they are bankers. So that's something else. So he could have chosen a more luxurious life, but he chose to consciously be kind to others and save lives, even at the cost of his own.
Right. So. And, I would argue that he was consciously being kind to himself by following his heart.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know if he stated that, but...
Yeah, I don't think he...
I would guess.
I would say, based on what I did read, because I get into the research mode, absolutely 100%. His thing was, I could not leave knowing that I left anyone that I could have helped along my journey. So his heart was connected and committed. And of course, because he came from wealth, he could have chosen a softer position. He could have chosen to write letters instead of jumping on train cars. So,
I had absolute faith that you would find a wonderful story and a quote, even though that's not how you began.
It is not how I started.
But you did end up finding a quote, which was very lovely. So thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, that's a great story. Thank you. So, is there a Carrorist question of the day?
Yes. The question of the day, I believe, is, let me just think about it, let me recall. What is in that jar that you have in the video? So asked all the time. What is that?
Those are called literary snacks.
Okay.
And so they're little messages from my book called A Hero's Guide to a Healthy Heart, and they're heart meditations.
Yes.
And so typed them up on paper, folded them up. They kind of look like these little colorful little snacks. And yes, thank you for bringing that up because before the pandemic, before Corona, I used to run around with a jar about this size.
We've got to make a digital jar.
That's a good idea for
Shake
the
up
future.
your phone and
right.
one of your sayings just pops up.
Yeah, and so I would run around with the jar and say, hey, do you want to try one of these literary snacks? And people would pull them out and get a little dose of inspiration. It was a conscious act of kindness.
It was. Yeah. Yes. All right, so, I don't know, is there anything else? I love this subject so much.
Kindness?
Well, I just like the conscious acts part.
Yeah.
I love that it's about doing. Right? It's about literally making a commitment to finding ways to be kind as opposed to stumbling or happening or
haphazard
or maybe I'll be kind. It's like I'm gonna find someone to be kind to, even if it's myself.
Especially yourself.
Yeah. All right.
So on that note, we always say, be kinder to yourself and kind to others. and keep on carrorising.
Goodbye.